Hello, I'm Brian Patrick. Welcome to Fifth Third Business Beat for Friday, March 13th, 2009. On page one of the Business Courier this week, the man in charge of the private nonprofit group that's leading the redevelopment in downtown and over the Rhine. Steve Leeper took the job as CEO of the Cincinnati Center City Redevelopment Corporation, or 3CDC, nearly 5 years ago. In that time, 3CDC injected new life into Fountain Square and sparked restoration and renovation in Over the Rhine. His group now has $35 million in construction debt in Over the Rhine.
You know, we've probably only started the renovation of about 40 or 50 buildings. We've got about another 100 buildings that we own here in Over the Rhine. We certainly have a major set of plans being undertaken for the reconstruction and expansion of Washington Park. So those I think are the next milestones that we have to tackle.
The group's Cincinnati Equity Fund and Cincinnati New Markets Fund have invested $99 million in 3CDC's projects. Within the next 2 months, Leeper expects to announce the two funds have raised another $70 million combined to keep the projects moving. $49 million in private investment and another $19 million from the city also fund the work. Bridgetown-based Home City Ice is being recognized for achieving perfect scores on quality control inspections at 9 of its ice plants. Home City Ice operates 27 ice plants that can churn out 4,400 tons of ice every day. The unannounced audits by the National Sanitation Foundation were conducted in 250 plants nationwide. They involve more than 60 criteria and cover the ice that's produced, equipment, documentation, and procedures. The plants are designed by the company's chief engineer, Joe Sedler, who says the ice made there is purer than the water used to make it.
As the ice freezes over a 33-minute period, there'll be approximately 25 to 30 gallons of water left. And as water is turned into ice, the impurities tend to freeze last. So what's at the end is water that contains a lot more minerals, and it is removed and flushed away.
Home City Ice has 2 local plants, one in Forest Park and this one in Wilder. One young entrepreneur establishes a business that remains unaffected by the recession. Kelly Holatz started First Star Safety when she was only 24 years old after a friend told her there was room for another traffic control services firm in town. After writing a business plan, she took out a second mortgage on her home and bought a couple hundred orange barrels and drummed up business, calling numbers out of the phone book. 3 years later, she has 18 employees and posts more than $1 million a year in revenue.
We put together the traffic plan that's site-specific for each job. Then we take all of the materials from our warehouse and take them out to the job site and install them and maintain them throughout the duration of the project and break it down at the end.
Holatz says she places emphasis on customer service and wants to manage her growth carefully. Back to the front page of this week's Business Courier, a story by Lisa Fazig on Procter & Gamble. Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer is here to explain that P&G is getting into acquisitions. Now, P&G has sold off billions of dollars of brands recently.
Yeah, they've sold off Folgers, Noxzema. They've really tried to focus on their core brands. So what Lisa Fazig, our reporter, really was hearing is that the company is looking potentially for acquisitions. This is a tough time to buy because it's tough to figure out what a company is worth, but they're in a strong position, and so that may happen.
With the economy as it is, though, does it make for some opportunities here in terms of acquisitions?
Absolutely does. If you talk about most public companies are very cheap right now. They're on sale. Most stock prices are way down. Procter & Gamble itself, stock price is down from about mid-70s last summer to 40-something today. However, it's a big deal for them. They're very strong. They have about $6 billion in free cash that they can go out and spend. It's a war chest, really, that they have looking for opportunities.
So P&G has sold off brands like Folgers and Noxzema.
Right.
It's looking into beauty care. Why beauty care?
It's a great business to be in. They're only about 33% of the market overseas. Their top 6 countries. If you remember, Procter & Gamble is a multinational company. This United States just represents a part of what they do. So they're looking around the world. They're looking potentially overseas to buy into more healthcare beauty products because they see it as a big growth opportunity.
When do you think we might see some activity here?
Well, analysts aren't sure. The company isn't really saying much other than the fact that they will buy something if the time is right and the company is right. But some people think by the end of this year that they could definitely jump back in. A.G. Lafley, the CEO, has said very clearly that they're looking around. So something by the end of the year would not be out of the question.
Do you think this is a good sign for P&G shareholders? Does this look solid for P&G?
Yeah, as you know, most companies right now are in a tough spot. Procter & Gamble not doing as great as they want to be, but if you look around the landscape, they're in a great position. They've got money, their stock price is not cratered, so if you really look around, they're one of the best companies out there right now. It's a good place to put your money, and because they're out looking for acquisitions, you know, if you think about Gillette just a couple years ago, that has been a fantastic addition for them. They can do something even of a smaller scale like that, the stock will be lights out.
All right, thank you, Rob Dahlmeyer. Read Lisa Fazig's story on the front page of this week's Business Courier.
Watch Fifth Third Business Beat Fridays at 7:30 p.m. on CET or online anytime at cetconnect.org.
The Business Courier, Greater Cincinnati's dominant provider of breaking business news. More than 50,000 readers each week depend on the Business Courier for information to help grow their businesses and stay ahead of the competition.